Continue. Right, a couple of things before we start. First off, we've still got the new Zumba classes going on. They are going to be with us until whenever. Danielle's going to be working with us for the next few months, definitely, and probably beyond it as well. So if you want to try Zumba and you haven't already, it's a Latin-based dance exercise. Have a look on the What's On calendar and give it a whirl. So that's the first thing. Second thing, on Mondays at 6 o'clock, I'm putting on a second MetaFit session, and I'm combining it with a Fast Blast session. So my brain is going to be whirring and you're going to be working really hard. So if you want another MetaFit session, that's on Monday at 6 o'clock. So there's two now, Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 o'clock. And the other thing I needed to tell you was half term is on week commencing the 15th of Feb. There's a limited timetable on for then. Those classes, if you're on unlimited Zoom, is they're included. If not, you're on pay as you go for that week. So that's week beginning the 15th. Right, okay, should we make a start? Get to do what we're supposed to be doing. Simply stretch for 60 seconds, I was going to say there, 60 minutes. Right, have a tie close to hand, please. So tall from the crown of your head to begin with. Feet hip width apart, keep your chin tucked in, draw your shoulder blades back and down. We're just going to start with gently rolling your shoulders, partly because that's what I feel like I need to do, having just demoed MetaFit. So you're going to do it with me. But whilst you're doing that, please, gently draw your tummy muscles in and make sure your feet are hip width apart and your weight is evenly distributed over your feet. Okay, thumbs onto your shoulders, drawing circles with your elbows. Biggest range of movement you can possibly make with your elbows. Try bringing your elbows together as well as you come forward, as well as far apart as they'll go. Stick with that if you like it. If you want to make it slightly harder, full arm circles. Staying as tall as you possibly can. Okay, from there, reaching up, arms out to the side, flowing up and down, and alternate the hand that is on top each time you go up, and alternate the hand that is on top each time you go down. Notice I've stopped saying which one to do. I'm just leaving it to you, trusting you that you're getting it right, or at least getting it better, more consistent than I am.
I'm not.
No. No.
My brain can't work that out.
No, mine can't either. I'm trying though. Next one's your last one. Lovely. Okay, hand to hip, reaching over. We're flowing gently from one side to the other, feeling the stretch under your arm. Remember, it's palm up will increase that stretch. Pushing against your hip with your hand. Next time your right arm is in the air, you're pushing over, holding it there for 30 seconds. You're keeping your tummy muscles in. You're thinking about turning your chest towards the ceiling, looking up to that top hand if you can. So if you're sideways on, you're directly over the side. Imagine you're between two panes of glass, so you can't tip yourself forward or backwards. Okay, and flowing again, please, from one side to the other. Next time your left hand is in the air, you're holding it there. So left arm up over the top, palm towards the ceiling, look up, actively reach. Right, I've got lots of feedback. So Chris first, can you just try turning your mic off? Lovely. It's gone, whoever did that. I think Tanya turned yours off as well, did you? Yeah. Okay, come out of that, grab your tie, please. So remember, all of these should have said you can be seated if you're feeling that way inclined. So you are going to take your tie, you're going to take it over the back flowing gently. So as you're doing this, if you've got a mirror you can look in, or you've got somebody else who can give you some feedback, just check that both arms are going evenly over the back. So you're not leaning to one side, you're not bending one arm, you're keeping both working simultaneously and in unison. What's the word I'm looking for? Can't think of the word I'm looking for. Anyway, next time your arms are over the back, hold that point of stretch. So you're just exploring it as you feel the stretch across the front of your chest. If it gets too much, have a little rest. If it's not doing anything for you, shorten that tie. Keep doing that and think about dropping your chin to your chest. Some of you will get a nice stretch across your back of your neck as well. Okay, release out of that, shrug your shoulders, and you're going to go back into doing the same thing. So flow for the moment, a few seconds flowing, keep flowing. I just want to see who else has turned up. Okay, good. Right, next time you're over the back, hold it there, tummy muscles in. Remember, you're not pushing your hips forward, you're staying tall from the crown of your head. If you think you're liable to push your hips forward, sit yourself down, because that will stop you doing that. Lovely, well done. Right, I'd like all of you to take a seat. And make sure you're on the front edge of your chair, hands to hips for the moment, knees and feet hip width apart, your chest is lifted. You're going to bow and push through your feet as you're doing that. So tall from the crown of your head, bowing, leading with your chest. So you're flexing from your hips, drawing your tummy muscles in. Stick with that if it's challenging enough. Advance it by hands, fingertips to temples, but really actively drawing your shoulder blades back and down. Keep those elbows back. Do not be tempted to let them go forward or round yourself. Elbows back. If that's challenging enough, stick there. If not, sit up, reach up. Note where your top of your arm is in relation to your ear. Flex, but reach and flex, reach, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, come back, have a little relax, reach up again, over you go, flex, reach with those fingertips, reach, 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 and come back again. Okay, one more time, reach up, lead with your chest, reach up with your hands, lead with your chest. Lovely. Okay, come back to where you started. Same again, same sequence. Stay seated if you prefer. If not, same thing, but stand in. Hands onto your hips, tummy muscles in. Really pull those tummy muscles in. You're supporting your back at all times. Flexing forwards, drawing those shoulder blades back and down, and coming back up. Remember, too much on your hamstrings, either sit down or bend your knees. So you're elongating from the crown of your head. We're mobilizing our hips. Some of you will be stretching your back. Some of you will be stretching your hamstrings. Some of you will be doing all of the above. Okay, stick with it or make it harder by hands to temples, drawing those shoulder blades back and down, actively working those postural muscles between your shoulder blades. Tummy muscles in. If your back's hurting, stop and sit down. Do the same, but seated. Okay, those of you that want to, arms are going above your head, same thing. I'm sticking with hands to temples. Tummy muscles in nice and tight. Next one's your last one, but you're going to hold it there for a count of 8. If you're unmuted, count with me backwards for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. Good, well done. Bit of a challenge doing a stretch and counting backwards all at the same time. Okay, so into an L stretch. So grab your point of support, a chair for me, feet hip width apart. Just relax into that stretch for the moment. So feet are hip width apart. You're pushing through the heels of your hands onto your point of support and reaching away with your fingertips. And I want you to reach as far as you can from fingertips out through your tailbone. So I'm getting a stretch, a little stretch between my shoulder blades. I'm getting a nice little stretch, sort of lower back near my tailbone. And because I'm actively pushing down against my point of support, I'm getting a stretch under my arms as well. So just keep there for the moment. Right, imagine somebody's gently pushing down between your shoulder blades. So take a nice deep breath in. Breathe out, push down. But remember to lengthen fingertips to tailbone, lots to think about. And again, nice deep breath in, breathe out. Lower into that stretch, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Okay, now gently swinging your tailbone from one side to the other. So if it swings to the left, you can bend your right knee if you feel like doing that. Do what's right for you. So as my tailbone goes to one side, I'm actively lengthening through my fingertips and arm on the other side. So the stretch flows from one side of my body to the other, loosening up all through my lower back. Remember, if you're really flexible on this, you can have a lower point of support. So if Rachel was here, Sophie, I imagine, is on the seat of the chair rather than on the back of the chair. Keep going with that if you like it. If not, try the rotation. So I'm going to push down with one hand and I'm rotating slightly towards the camera. Then I'm pushing down with the other hand and rotating. It's not much of a rotation, but it just changes the emphasis of the stretch a little bit. Have a little play. So we're just playing around with lengthening different muscle fibers at the moment. Lovely. Okay, come back to center. And now we're going to arch and hollow. So chin to chest, tummy muscles in, arch your back up towards the ceiling as far as it will go. Pull in your belly button, pull up your pelvic floor, push down against your point of support to feel a stretch pretty much everywhere in your back. And then go the opposite way around. So come to neutral. Now imagine somebody is pushing between your shoulder blades, so go a little bit lower towards the floor and try and get your tailbone up. So I'm looking for a curve in my lower back that I'm still yet to find, but it'll come one day if I keep doing this. Chin to chest, arch, push down through that point of support, tummy muscles in, pelvic floor pulled up, push down through your chair or your point of support. Other way about, come through the middle. Gently pushing down between your shoulder blades. You can imagine who you like having pushing between your shoulder blades. I'll leave that for your figment of your imagination. I don't want any shout outs. And then chin to chest. Arch, tummy muscles in. Last time into hollow in. Chest as close to the floor as you can, tailbone high, push in against your point of support. And release, well done. Okay, right, into calf stretches, please. So fiddle around with whatever your props that you need, have a quick drink. So flowing to begin with, in and out of a straight-legged calf stretch. So I'm standing on a block, you can have a pile of books, and you're gently pushing heel to floor. Play around with your position a little bit. And remember, if you feel up to it today, try to get the stretch going on your opposite toes. So you're pushing through the toes as your heel drops to the floor. So right heel to the floor, pushing through left toes. Left heel to the floor, pushing through right toes. Well done. Next time your right heel is to the floor, hold it there. So it's a straight-legged calf stretch. You're pushing against your point of support. You're pushing your back heel into the floor. Feeling the stretch in your large calf muscle. Remember, with all of these, if you're not sure, unmute yourself. Don't be shy. Ask a question. Okay, well done. Back into flowing. So flowing from one side to the other. Oh, I've got a new person coming in. I wonder who that is. I need to have a quick look. Right, next time your left heel is to the floor, hold it there, push against your point of support, tummy muscles in. Oh, it's Barbara. Hello, Barbara. Good to see you. Brilliant. And flowing, please. So this time when you're flowing from one side to the other, try the bent-legged version because that's the stretch we're going to do next for the soleus and Achilles tendon, or soleus muscle really. Okay, into the bent-legged calf stretch. So it's this back leg, this one that I'm stretching, feeling it right the way down here, pushing against that point of support, keeping my tummy muscles in, heel as close to the floor as it'll go. So a little bit of discomfort, never pain, definitely never sharp shooting pain or fiery burning pain. If you get any of that, you need to stop. And then tell me what's happened and I'll give you an alternative. A few more seconds of that. And flow again from one side to the other, trying to keep your knees bent. So you're flowing in and out of the bent-legged calf stretch, the soleus muscle. Next time your left heel is to the floor, hold it there. While you're holding that, this is the last one of this particular routine, because on Friday, end of the month, it's All Request Friday. Stretches only. My life is in your hands. So if you've got any particular stretches that you want to do, you need to tell me what they are. Okay, well done. Come out of that into the stretch for the plantar. So you need to create a little bit of space against your wall. A big, thick skirting board works well. You've got your heel to the floor. You're pushing your toes against the point of support. So my blocks in this case, toes are pointing up to your head and you're just holding that stretch there. So for me, I feel it Achilles area, soleus muscle, and I feel it in my toes, and I feel it a little bit going underneath the sole of my foot. Have a little move in and out of that position if you want to. And remember, with any of these, if you know that you're particularly flexible in this area and you really don't need to do it, work on something that you do need to do. So I'm just gently moving my knee sort of right, center, left, center. Okay, ease out of that. Do the same on the other side. So heel to floor, toes against your point of support, and then bend your knee. Now remember, I'm not very flexible down in my Achilles, my soleus area, so that you can't see much bend in this knee, but believe me, I'm getting a very strong stretch in my toes and soleus muscle. Some of you, your knee will be much bigger angle there. Is it a bigger angle or smaller angle? Smaller angle, closer to 90 degrees. Okay, and then just transfer your weight again. So you start off going forward and backwards if you want to. Just gently rocking forward and backwards. Or you might want to go right, center, left and center. And I'm just talking minute movements. Just do what feels right. Okay, ease yourself out of that. Onto all fours. So this is the thread the needle one. Remember, if you don't want to be on all fours, it's this version that you're doing seated and you're threading the needle that way. Same pattern, but you're just seated instead. So on all fours, those that you want to. Well done if you've got your little donut cushions for your knees. Go to the top of the class. So we've got tummy muscles in to begin with. We're just flowing in and out of leading with your elbow, unfurling and coming back to all fours. That's all we're doing for the moment before we thread the needle. So actively push through the floor with the hand that's in contact with it, and that will help you deepen the stretch. So push through the floor, lead with the elbow, keep pushing, and then think, right, which is my less flexible side? And you're going to be starting the thread the needle with that one. Okay, so thread the needle, reaching through, resting your head and shoulders to the floor. Remember, you can support your shoulders with cushions. Unfurl, unthread, lead with your elbow. Elbow always first, push down with that bottom hand, reach up, turn your chest towards the ceiling if you can. Repeat. Thread. Shoulder to floor or to cushions, head to floor, reach. Lead with your elbow, push through the floor with that bottom hand, unfurl. Okay, next one, you're threading the needle and you're going to hold it there. So shoulder to floor, rest your head on the floor and then play around with that position there so you can rock forward and backwards a little bit. You can pin your hand to the floor. Sort of reaching away. That worked quite nicely as well. So for all of these, you'll be feeling the stretch down the side of your back. So if you've got your right hand threaded, you should be feeling it on the right hand side of your back. Other way around if you've got your left hand threaded. Lovely, well done. Same on the other side. So push down through the bottom hand, lead with your elbow, unfurl, chest open, then arm, look up at that top hand and thread. If you're really one-sided on this, do your weaker side twice or your less flexible side twice if there's a real discrepancy. That applies to all your stretches. So perhaps if you had an injury and one side's a lot less flexible, that's a good reason to do that side twice because you want to even up your flexibility. Okay, next time you're threading a needle, you're going to hold it there. So reach through as far as you can, drop that shoulder to the floor, just hang in that position for the moment. Relax your head as best you can, which is almost impossible with these headsets. And then play around that position. So I'm rocking forward and backwards gently to start off with. And then perhaps play around with pinning your hand. So top hand pins the bottom and pull away from it. Wiggle around in that position. Well done. Ease yourself out of that. Okay, into hip flexors. So this this is the basic position that we're making. Donut cushion under your knee if you need to. Remember, you can also use the chair either for a high support, so your knees off the floor, or pop your edge of your leg against the chair there for support. So working hip flexors for the moment. So a full minute in this position. So you want to be feeling where your pockets in your trousers would be. So some people work well by having a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle there, lifting up out of their hips and pushing forwards. Some people need to have a bigger step forward and ease into that. Play around, find what works. And from there, kicking your heel to your bottom. If you've got dodgy knees, don't do this one. It's not gonna be nice. Heel to bottom. So you're actively stretching your quads by using the strength in your hamstring muscles and your glute muscles. And then from there, relax that foot to the floor or turn your toes under if you want a toe stretch, and come into low lizard. So I've got my shoulder by my knee, or knee to shoulder, and you can put your forearms to the floor if you can get there. I can't at the moment. I can when I drop my knee out to the side, but just play around with that for the moment. So it's gone from hip flexors more into hamstrings for me. I've got a bit of hip flexors, but a little bit of hamstrings under here, a little bit of adductors, so on the inside of my leg. And then play around with that position. So dropping your knee out to the side perhaps. Pushing down towards the floor. Forearms to the floor if you can. Don't worry if you can't. And remember, the other thing you can do is help yourself. So a halfway house, perhaps have a pile of blocks or books. Forearms like that. Just do what feels right. You've got another 30 odd seconds in hip flexors or this low lizard or whatever you want in that general shape. There's no rules, there's no rights or wrongs. Just do what feels right for you. Whatever position you happen to be working in, take a deep breath in, breathe out, and go a little deeper into your stretch. Wonderful. Okay, come out of that, stick with that shape, but come back up and straighten the front leg. So working on hamstrings now, pulling up out your hips, flexing forwards. Remember, if you don't want to be doing the kneeling version, go to seated. Same thing, one leg straight, other leg bent, pulling up out your hips to stretch in the back of your legs. Or if you've got another favorite hamstring stretch, do that. But it's basically the same shape. Your front leg or your top leg will be straight, easing in and out. Trying to lead with your chest, not rounding your shoulders. And remember as well, if you're in this position, help yourself with blocks or books turned end on. And then when you're ready, go into a split stretch if you wish. So you take your front leg a little bit further forward, your back leg a little bit further back, gradually working towards splits. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Stick with either hip flexors or hamstrings, but staying tall, leading with your chest. Try a little bit of a distraction technique. Point and flex that front foot. Really focus your mind on pointing and flexing that front foot. Keep focused on that. Point and flex. Point and flex. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Go a little deeper into your stretch. Lovely. Well done. Ease yourself out of that, please. Stand yourself up. Have a little wander around. Can do the same on the other side. I'm grabbing a drink before I do. Okay, so round two of that hip flexor hamstring sequence. So I had my right foot forward before, so it's now left foot forward into hip flexors. So some of you, it's right angle, pulling up out your hips and pushing that hip forward, sort of turning your pelvis under a little bit. Some of you will find that enough, as long as you're feeling the stretch here where your pocket would be. Remember, you can perch your bottom on your hip. No, you can't. Bottom on hip. I haven't come out with that one before. Bottom on chair. Good grief. Okay. Or take a big step forward into that deeper hip flexor stretch. Do whatever works. Okay, have a go now at kicking your heel to your bottom, but without sitting up like this, without leaning, going backwards. Keep your body wherever it is. So I can get my heel nowhere near my bottom, but I'm working on it. Don't do this with dodgy knees, please. Okay, then start exploring that range of movement. So you might be going a little bit lower to the floor. If you've got your bottom perched on the edge of the chair, you can still do exactly the same thing. Use those blocks to support you. Remember, ask if you've got any questions, unmute yourself, don't be shy, particularly at this point because most of you have disappeared from view, or I've just got a very small part of you. So remember, just play around. Turn your back foot one way, then the other way, rotating from the hip. See what that does. Working your front knee, taking it away from you, dropping it down towards the floor. See what that does. Another 30 odd seconds, just exploring this, doing what's right for you. Try to keep those shoulder blades drawn back and down. Lengthening from the crown of your head. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, go a little deeper into your stretch if you want to. And then another deep breath in, breathe out, come out of it into hamstrings. So that front leg becomes straight. Pull up out of your hips, flex forward. Or do the same version but seated, like this. You'll find you probably have to flex quite a bit further forward to get that stretch. Or your favorite hamstring stretch.
Is that a thing? Then, like a favorite hamstring stretch?
Say that again, Emma.
I was going to say, is that an actual thing? Do people have a favorite?
Well, some people do stretch? Who are really flexible in their hamstrings, you know. Just hang out with a straight leg somewhere. I don't. No, I don't like they're horrible.
It's horrible.
Anyway, when you're ready, start lengthening into a split stretch. Your version of. Remember your support. So last week I was a lot lower than this. This week, for some reason, I'm not. But it doesn't matter. What does matter, Sam, is not around your shoulders. Stay tall.
So when I'm in a hip flexor stretch, and I'm down into almost low lizard.
I've lost you. Is that Emma talking?
Yeah, it is. It's me. Right. So when I'm in sort of like low lizard.
Yeah. Keep facing it.
I get quite a strong stretch in the bent leg up the top here. Yes. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Most people do. It comes out of the hip flexors and more into hamstrings and adductors, backs of leg and into, yes. Oh, by the way, if you've had enough of this stretch, come out of it.
Sorry.
We've had quite a bit more in that. Okay, ease out of that, please. Right, whilst you're kneeling down, either arching and hollowing, so chin to chest, and then into an arch. So see this arch here? That's the arch that I'm trying to get when we're in that L shape as well. So that's what we're working on. That's what I'm talking about. So either this or with your hands supported higher if you feel that you need to do that, or into the high child's pose. So you take your hands a little bit further away from you, lean back, but keep your hands pinned to the floor, and you're not quite getting your bottom on your heels yet, but push through the floor and you'll get a nice stretch across the top of your back, under your arms possibly. Try and take any tension away from your neck. And I find as well, if I tilt my tailbone under a little bit, just a tiny bit, I get a really nice stretch in my lower back. So either stay in that position if you want to, or go to the traditional child's pose, which is bottom onto your heels, reaching your fingers away from you. Remember, if that's uncomfortable, stick cushions between your bottom and your heels, or come up out of it and stick with arching and hollowing. And remember, you can do the arching and hollowing seated as well. So another 10 seconds or so in that position. And then from there, we're going prone. So face down on the floor. Rest your head on your hands or forehead to the floor. And I'd like you to kick your right heel towards your bottom, or to your bottom if it goes there easily. If it does nothing for you in terms of you can easily get your heel to your bottom, go straight into a quad stretch. And then swap sides. And now we're going into a quad stretch of your choice for 90 seconds. So quad stretch is front of thigh. Most accessible is on the side here, knees bent. Grab hold of your top leg, either with your hand, or you can pop a tie around it to help. Draw your heel to your bottom and feel the stretch down the front of your thigh. Now we've done a bit of this already because hip flexes, you'll do quads as well. But this one is a pure quad stretch. So sideline like that, remember you can kick into the backhand, but think about pushing your hips forward, draw your tummy muscles in. If you've got other versions that you prefer, that's absolutely fine. Those of you that are more flexible, try the version as well from sideline where you tuck your heel under your bottom and lie down, and let me know whether that works. Sophie, have you done this one before?
No, give it a go now.
Give it a go. Give it a go.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Okay. Success. Yes. So that's a nice one to perhaps alternate with a kneeling stretch.
Yeah.
And I find, I don't know whether you can see this, I've leant onto my heel and then my other leg, I'm pushing down on my knee. You might not need to do that because you'll be more flexible than me, but that gives me a really powerful stretch. Another 15 seconds if you can bear it. If you've had enough, come out of it. And then do the same on the other side. So do remember, ask questions if you need to. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or you're not getting a stretch where you think you should be, ask. Particularly those that haven't been coming for very long, or I've never seen in a hall. So again, I'm starting with the side lying one. That's the easiest one to get into. Grabbing hold of my ankle, drawing my foot towards my bottom, pushing my hips forward, drawing my knee back. And then when I settle into that, the more advanced version of it is tucking my heel under my bottom, rolling onto my front, and letting my weight assist with that stretch. Another 30 seconds in this position if you want it. If not, just come out of it and have a little relax. If you can, take a deep breath in, breathe out, go a little deeper into your stretch. And one more time, nice deep breath in, breathe out, go a little deeper into your stretch. Well done, come up out of that one. Good. Okay. On to hamstrings. In fact, before we do hamstrings, I missed this one out last week because I ran out of time. So we're going to do it this time. It's your favourite stretch. You're sat on the floor. Some of you, quite a few of you, will need cushions underneath your bottom. You have got your right leg out to the side and your left leg is bent. Remember, you can have cushions underneath that knee to help. You can have the knee leg out that way if you've got dodgy knees. Okay, but do lift your bottom up off the floor to assist. Then we're pulling up out of our hips. Right leg is extended, right arm is extended, palm forward, and you're keeping your chest open by having your hand on your shoulder. Got it right, hand on shoulder, elbow high, and then slide down, or take a deep breath in and slide down towards that foot. Okay. Now turn your chest so you look towards the ceiling and that bent elbow. Then if you can, if it's enough, stay there, because this is a tricky stretch. If not, straighten that arm, reach it away from you. And then take a deep breath in, breathe out, and reach that arm up and over as you slide your hand towards your foot. So this top hand here isn't really going up and over very far, but that's what we're aiming for. Remember, I can cheat nicely by rotating forward and doing this, but that's not what we're talking about. Keep that chest open. Okay, come out of it again. We love this stretch. Let's do it again. Pull up out of your hips. Right arm towards right foot, palm out. Thumb to elbow, chest open. So rotate that chest and look towards your elbows, slide down towards your foot, extend the arm towards the ceiling if you want to. Take a deep breath in, breathe out and arc that arm up over the top. Keep breathing. Lovely, release out of it. Let's do that one more time. Okay. So that leg is extended to the side, right hand is extended, palm forwards, chest open, thumb to shoulder. I've got it right 3 times in a row. Hope you're impressed. Look towards that elbow, extend your arm. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, slide down towards your foot, reach up and over with that arm. Reach and release. Well done. Okay, from there, lift up out your hips. This time, rotate towards that foot. So we're lifting up, rotating, and then get towards your foot however you can. Think about leading with your chest. You might want the tie around the ball of your foot. Oh, Carolyn, you look far too relaxed in that position. Take a nice deep breath in for me and go a little lower. You can do it. That's it. Think about extending through your thoracic spine, your upper spine. Thank you. That's better. You just happen to be able to see you all there, Carolyn. Okay, deep breath in, breathe out, go a little deeper. So this is a stretch where if you ask me, where do I feel it? And the answer is pretty much everywhere. All the way down both sides. I'm feeling it throughout my back. I'm feeling it a little bit in my hamstrings, even a little bit of adductor stretch in that bent leg at the back there. Lovely. Well done. He's out of that. Wonderful. Got to do the same on the other side now. So extend your left leg out to the side. Remember, it's really important that you're comfortable to begin with in the stretches. So that leg that's bent, Support it with cushions if you need to. Have a wider angle at your knee if you need to. And up on the cushion if it helps. It helps most of you. So to begin with, left palm out, and we're sliding down towards your left leg, but you're keeping your chest open, and you're doing that assisting by having your thumb on your elbow, keeping that elbow back, your chest open, look up towards that elbow. Now take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, and slide down a little bit towards your foot. Deep breath in, breathe out, extend that arm. Oh, it's harder on this side today. Deep breath in, breathe out, arc up and over. That's almost no movement at all today. Okay, release. We can do this 3 times because I think we did it 3 times on the other side. Anybody? Did we do it 3 times?
Did.
Yeah.
Right, marvelous. Okay, let's do it 3 times. So you know what you're doing, palm out, thumb to shoulder, open your chest out, look towards that elbow, and then slide down. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, extend the arm towards the ceiling only if you want to. Deep breath in, breathe out, and arc that arm over the top. Optimistic today. And release. Good. Most of you, all I can see is a little arm waved in the air. Okay, come on, last time. Pull up out of your hips. Reach down towards that foot. Thumb to elbow. No, almost got it right. Thumb to shoulder. Look at that elbow. Lift your chest towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in. Breathe out. Slide down towards the foot a fraction more. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Extend that arm. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Arc up and over. Reach. And release. Well done. Ooh, okay. From there, readjust yourself, pull up out of your hips, turn to face that left leg this time, and then tie around the ball of your foot if it helps me. Pull up out of your hips, flex forward, and just reach towards that foot. Lead in with your chest. And do the same again. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, so you can go a little deeper into your stretch. And final time, nice deep breath in, breathe out, go a little deeper into your stretch. And release. Okay. The hamstring sequence, we're not going to do the full lot because we've already done quite a bit on hamstrings, but what I do want to do is the bent-legged hamstring stretch. If you feel that you don't need to do that, do another version. I'll talk you through them. So you're lying down on your back. You've got your tie around the ball of your foot, and your other leg, if you can, extend it along the floor. If you're not comfortable doing that, then keep it bent. Remember to have a cushion underneath your head if you need to. So I'm focusing on the bent-legged hamstring stretch. We're going to do this for a minute. And you can either use your tie, you can have your hands on the ball of your feet, but feeling the stretch in the belly of your hamstring muscle. The others you can do is the straight-legged version, or you can have the version where your leg is coming across the center line of your body using your tie, or out to the side. So your choice, whatever you want to do for that full minute, of which we've got 40 odd seconds left. So just allow yourself to relax into that stretch for the moment. Remember, you don't have to stay still. By moving, you're just engaging, exploring other muscle fibers within the same muscle. If we just go directly forward all the time, you're just stretching the same fibers. Okay, if you want to, take a deep breath in, breathe out, and go a little deeper into your stretch. And then from there, equal and opposing pressure. So if you've got your thigh, push up with your foot against your thigh, but resist it with your hands so there's no visible movement. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, and try and go a little deeper into that stretch. And one more time, equal and opposing pressure. So you're pushing against your thigh, you're resisting it with your hands, no visible movement, but keep pushing, keep pushing. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, and go a little deeper. Lovely, well done. Okay, come out of that, do exactly the same on the other side. So whatever version of hamstring stretch you were doing. Oh, nice socks, Linda. Brilliant. Nice big fluffy socks, love it. Okay, so remember, if you're doing either the straight-legged or bent-legged hamstring stretch and you can straighten that other leg along the floor, do it, because you'll get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch as well, or some of you will. Okay, if you want to, equal and opposing pressure. So you're pulling down with your thigh or your hand, whatever is in contact with your foot, pushing away with your foot, but no visible movement. Let's do it. So push in, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, go a little deeper into that stretch. See if we can do it again. Equal and opposing pressure. Push, resist. Keep pushing, keep resisting. Push, push, push. Take a nice deep breath in. Breathe out. Go a little deeper. Lovely, well done. Okay, from there into an outer hip stretch of your choice. So today I'm going to do the shoelace version. So you can be propped up on cushions. I'll show you a seated version in a moment, a seated on a chair version. So shoelace is this, one leg wrapped over the other, your heels as close to your bottom as you can. And then you can flex forward and you gently pull your knee towards your chest, or you can turn that into a higher version like this, or same shape. You've basically got one leg wrapped over the other in a figure of four-ish position. You can sit yourself on a chair, one leg over the other like this, and pull up out of your hips and flex forward. All of them, we're looking for a bit of a stretch on the outer hip here. Okay, if you've got dodgy knees, try this one because you've got a nice open angle at the knee. It's less pressure on the knee. Whatever one you're in, you got another 50 odd seconds should you want it. Have a little rock around. Then whatever version you're in, work out what you need to do to go to a little deeper into that stretch. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, and go a little bit deeper. So with this shoelace stretch, if you've got your chest towards your thigh, I then hook my hand underneath, and that gets me a little bit deeper into your stretch. One more time, take a nice deep breath in, please. Breathe out, go a little deeper into your stretch. Well done. Same on the other side. Whatever version of outer hip. Remember, again, if you're particularly less flexible on one side, do that side twice. Play around with what works. Okay, take a nice deep breath in. Breathe out. Go a little deeper into your stretch. And one more time. Nice deep breath in. Breathe out. Go a little deeper. Lovely. Okay, we're almost there. Almost there. Onto your back, please, everybody. Place a cushion underneath your head if you need it. Hug your knees into your chest. Have a little rock around. Nose to knees. You can have your hands underneath your soles of your feet. You can have your tie underneath the soles of your feet. And then we're going into a rotational stretch. So remember, the more flexible of you might want to extend your leg in the air and rotate it over. The rest of us, mere mortals, we are knees to chest and taking our arms out to the side. Drop your knees to the right hand side. Keep your shoulder blades flat on the floor. If your shoulders come off the floor, pop cushions underneath your knees. Reach away. So we've got our knees to the right. Reach away with your left hand. Remember, you can put a little bit of downward pressure on your knees with your right arm. And gently rock in and out of it if you want to. And then from there, you can reach that arm up towards your head, keeping the back of the arm and back of the hand in contact with the floor. So stretching all the way down your side. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Lovely. Come back to center. Have a little rock around again. So you might want to keep your head on the floor and just rock your tailbone off. You can put hands under the back of your knees and rock your tailbone. Hands under the soles of your feet. Have a little rock around there. And then rotate into the other side. So it's left hand side, knees to the left, cushions underneath your knees if you need to. A little bit of downward pressure with your hands. You are reaching away with your right hand. Your palm is up, the back of your hand is on the floor. And then start arcing that arm up above your head if you haven't already. So my arm doesn't actually go above my head, but that's what we're aiming for. Actively reach through your fingertips. Get that stretch under your arm. If it gets too much, just have a rest. Lovely, well done. Come back to little hug again for the last time. Knees to chest, rolling around. And finishing off with a full body stretch, please. So making yourself as long as you possibly can, keeping that back in neutral, so that natural lumbar spine that you have. Shoulder blades flat to the floor. Reaching those fingertips above your head. So some of you might be in a V position with your arms. Just relax there. One more time. More flexible of you will be in an I shape with your arms in your body. And release. Take a nice deep breath in and slowly sit yourself up. Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Unmute yourselves. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Well, I'm just going to stop recording and then just a little reminder.